All right, everyone. Deep bow. Welcome into our community lecture. I am Bante Warapanyo. I am your local, friendly neighborhood Buddhist monk. I am a meditation teacher and also a Buddhist teacher, Buddhist guide. I am actively doing work for spreading the Buddhist teachings. And also, I am right now following my teacher, my master, Sayadaw Otamasara, who is a meditation master from the country of Myanmar. And we are currently in a 3-month intensive retreat in Hanoi, Vietnam. This lecture and this event will be live streamed, recorded on YouTube. But the main purpose of this event is that it's actually a lecture for young people, especially young men. We have a lot of young men in this community who are going in the direction of self-improvement, who are trying to work on themselves and develop so that they can have less weakness, more power, less suffering, and more happiness. So this is an opportunity for them to ask questions and also for me to share advice. Now, to participate in a lecture like this, you have to have some quality of a meditative mind. That means that you are willing to step back from consumption and you are willing to put down the habit energy of constantly trying to get what you want. So it's kind of like a little bit of a dopamine detox or a desire detox or an attachment detox. We know that we have the mindset or the tendency to grasp onto something that's sweet or something that seems nice or something that is kind of going the way that we want it to go. We reach out, try to get a hold of that and consume it or keep it for ourselves. This lecture and being here and listening deeply is really a matter of allowing that process of grasping, that process of chasing after things to stop, to settle. So I encourage you to find a comfortable, stable position for your body. I encourage you to reduce or stop any other distractions, any other things, music or videos or reading that you're involved with, and just kind of settle into this present moment experiencing. Settle into this space. And ideally, the image of the monk, the sound of my voice, may be calming, may be meditative. And so allow yourself to open up into that. We're not going to do any brainwashing today. It's going to be quite simple and direct in terms of the advice and the teachings that are given here. And hopefully, it's going to have a lot of user input so that you can ask your question, you can share your experience, you can get some advice, you can learn and grow on the path of self-improvement. So, where do we start? Where do we start on the self-improvement journey? If we want to build this tower or this house of power, or if we want to build this skyscraper of even, let's say, ability to get what we want and ability to avoid what we want, what we don't want, how do we build the foundation? Because anything that you build, any work that you do, any development that you make progress with, okay, it has to have a foundation. If the foundation is weak, then the entire structure is weak. And it doesn't matter how much success or how high it goes, it is bound to crumble because the foundation is not strong. So, from the monk Adonis perspective, what is the foundation? What is the foundation of self-improvement, or what is the foundation of developing yourself to have more freedom, power, peace, skillfulness, etc.? I'm going to say it very clearly and directly. The foundation is something called virtue. The foundation is something called morality. So let's stop right there. Without me explaining it, what is morality? What is virtue? What does a word like that mean to us? We can say, so that we don't lose anybody along the path as we're doing this lecture, I want everyone to feel invited and comfortable to stay. We can say that morality is the skillfulness of mental, verbal, and physical actions. Skillful in terms of not harming ourselves and not harming other people. So we make certain promises or we make certain commitments in terms of how we live our life to be more skillful, to be more careful, to cause less suffering for ourselves and cause less suffering for other people. Now, does anyone have any idea about what morality is for them or what virtue is for them? Maybe we can have some people come up, raise your hand, or write it in the lecture chat. But let's hear from some people. What does this mean for you? What is your morality? What is your virtue? What exactly is this? And we're going to explore this. We're going to unpack this together, okay? Who's ready to come up and share about their understanding of what is morality? What is virtue? Please raise your hand if you're ready to connect with this question. All right. So, Chad, you can come up. Let's hear from you. Or Spexy, or Top. Go ahead, Spexy. What is virtue? What is morality?
So, morality, um, to be honest, I wouldn't be able
Right,
to give you
right,
a proper definition
right, right. So
because
go ahead.
it's a bit of a complex meaning. I wouldn't be able to give
Right. So
you
let's settle down on that. Let's
something
settle down on
word
that.
for word.
Let's come to our breathing, right? Come to your awareness of the body. No need to click, no need to move around, no need to look around. Just come to your breathing, come to your awareness of the body. This is a major issue for young people growing up, especially young people that are growing up in a hyper isolated, a hyper separated, and a hyper consumerist society, where basically we don't have meaningful social interactions that don't relate to consumption, getting what we want, avoiding what we don't want. When you live a more traditional form of life, of being in a tribe or being in a community, right, a multi-generational household, these kinds of things, there's a lot of attention and interaction and deep experiences that set up your values, right? Your values for being a good person, your values for being moral. But in a nuclear family or in an isolated family, um, it's kind of like living in a castle or living in a protected but also isolated space. So you don't necessarily develop this deeper understanding of being a good person, not just for yourself, but for the society, for the whole. So why is it that being a good person or following precepts or having morality, having virtue as being very essential in your life, why is it like this? Why is this actually important? Well, let's say it like this. When you do good things,
Well,
when you do good
yeah,
things, you feel good. When you do bad things, when you do
yeah.
things that you shouldn't do, you feel bad. Now, bad and good here is talking about health and wealth. It's not talking about pleasure. Pleasure is not inherently good. Pain is not inherently bad. So when we say good and bad, we're not talking about pain and pleasure, but rather it's how do your actions lead to a state of health and wealth long term for your body and mind, or how do they lead to a state of cyclic experiences of anxiety, depression, weakness, complicated thinking, selfishness, etc. When you do good, here's a big word incoming. Maybe we can all write this down in the chat so that it's clear. When we are generous, we feel good. Generosity is a foundation point or an essential point for this morality or this virtue. All morality, all virtue, all overall skillful living starts with generosity. This willingness to give up, this willingness to give away, this willingness to Be the dog with a bone, chomping down on a bone, and be willing to release the jaw. Something that's precious to you, something that's important to you, something that's vital for you, your desire, your fear. Generosity is the power and the capacity to give that up, to put that down, to let that go. But we start to exercise our generosity by being generous, by helping out, by sharing out, by taking out the trash, by cleaning up around the house, by starting to do good deeds. When we exist in such a way, one more thing here, Spexy. When we exist in such a way where we
Yeah.
are kind of overwhelmed by consumption, we are overwhelmed by this constant consumption, right? Constantly trying to get a new flavor, a new taste, McDonald's, Burger King, YouTube, TikTok, video games, etc. When's GTA 6 coming out? When's GTA 6 coming out? Right? We have this mindset of just constant desire and constant stimulation. When you have a mindset like that and the habit energy towards a mindset like that, all right, it is very, very difficult to start stepping back and opening up to life itself, to experience itself. And the
Mm.
moment that we do that, we think, wait a minute, this isn't my fridge. This isn't cinnamon toast crunch. This isn't food for my ego. What am I getting from this? I'm not getting anything. So we stop opening up and we go back to that clinging. Meditation and generosity, and the main one of the main messages I want to share with you guys is for you to emphasize doing more and more good deeds, doing more and more acts of generosity, to share out, to widen out the mind, to open the heart, open the mind. You'll find a lot of sincerity and authenticity here, and you'll also find a lot of exposure, right? Those parts of yourself that you haven't been dealing with or working with, right? Those demons, those tangles in the mind and the heart, we can start to untangle them by being generous, by starting to do good deeds more and more. Donating, sharing, volunteering our time, volunteering our energy for our parent or grandparent or loved one or people in our society or community. You need to try to have an experience with this and then see what the effect is, cause and effect.
Yeah. Uh, yeah.
All right, Chad, what do you have to say, Chad? So we are willing to give up our clinging, willing to give up our grasping, to give away our grasping onto this image, this idea, this feeling in the body, this thought in the mind. Yeah, guys, things come up, thoughts come up, experiences come up, right? You go through difficulty or you have these experiences. But if you are willing and able to abandon that, not to be involved with the thought, not to attach to the feeling in the body, not to attach to, oh, this person or that place, or, this, I want to watch a YouTube, or I want to, go eat something. You notice it, you're aware of it, but you give it away. Now we start to enter into a natural state of meditation, a natural meditation mind. This is very powerful. Very powerful. So, guys, let's get some hands raised and let's get some questions about morality or being a good person or generosity. And also, if you have some experience that you've dealt with recently and that you want to ask about, you can raise your hand and come up about that as well. And this lecture is being recorded, so you can listen later if you need it, or you can recommend for a friend later on if you think they could get benefit from it. And this is a time to be generous with your voice as well, right? If you feel shy to share, if you feel vulnerable to share, that means you actually have something to share, something that has weight, something that's meaningful. If you just say things, throw yourself out there, what have you, well, that's not very generous. That's just selfish. Go ahead, Jojo. You have a question? Open up to the natural state of meditation. The natural state of no ego, no self, no story, no complicated thinking. Just aware, just a natural. Not going anywhere, not doing anything. Just aware, just mindful, just in the present moment. Okay, we're going to put our friends here back down to the audience. Go ahead. You have a question or you want to share something?
Yeah, I have a question. So you were talking about like clinging on to these desires and like asking for a new taste, like always like clinging on to that desire. How do you escape that? What is the most proper way to escape that?
Say a little bit more.
I mean, like how do you escape these desires? Like how do you make the food how do you make the food have no taste? How do you make it so there is no desire
Talk a
in
little bit
these things
more.
that we
Talk a
indulge
little
in?
bit more about your experience. So your experience
It's
that
like
brings
when I
up a
was
question like this or this, curiosity. Talk a little bit more about your direct experience as it relates to this kind of thing.
so when I was younger and like some of my friends even nowadays, they like whenever I'll go over to their house, they'll always have like unhealthy like cereal there, like unhealthy drinks there, and we only desire those things because we you know they have a sweet taste to us in the moment, and I'm just like it's so easy to desire those things when they taste good in the moment and we don't think about them in the long term. Like how do you escape that that short
Yeah.
term desire?
Yeah. So escape is maybe a difficult word here, a problematic word, because we don't want to escape from anything. We don't want to run from anything. We don't want to run even from sugary snacks or candies or treats, because why do we need to run from them, right? Why do we need to be afraid of cinnamon toast crunch? It tastes good. Frosted Flakes taste good. Why do we need to be afraid of it? Because the potentiality is there for the arising of an addiction. And an addiction is a compulsive behavior that you cannot really regulate yourself to not do, that hurts you, that kind of breaks your own heart, harms your own heart, right? This is what an addiction is. So we are working with these states or experiences or physical things like certain foods or certain people where we recognize that this is not particularly good for me. right? So that recognition only has value or only has like power if there are things that are particularly good for you that you are actively involved with, actively moving towards, actively step after step after step after step. So a lot of the issues that young men are having is that they are able to, young people are having, they are able to recognize, okay, this candy is not really good for me. This masturbation and pornography is not really helping me out. It's not actually that, it's not good for me to do this. You notice these things, you recognize them, but you don't necessarily have a meaningful direction for living your life. You're not necessarily actively involved in things that are good for you that also carry your interest, right? That also have this this taste of richness, right? This taste of depth, this taste of brightness, right? Candy is bright. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is bright. It's just sugar, so it gives you that kind of inspiration. So rather than hyper focusing on these things that we already know are not particularly good for us, right? They're kind of causing us difficulties. Rather than hyper focusing on them and trying to reject those things, actually, we need to rely on our natural intuition, our natural recognition that, okay, this tastes good, this feels good, but I know that it's not good for me. And we remember that again and again, naturally. We remember again and again, this feels good, this tastes good, etc. It's not good for me. So when we're about to do that, we remember that wisdom. When we're doing it, we remember that wisdom. After we do it, we remember that wisdom. But if that is not combined with or a part of an overall meaningful life, then you're always going to go back to those things that are stimulating, even if those things are causing you to suffer, because we have an addiction to stimulation. We have an addiction to exciting experiences, one way or another. So how do we start to find a meaningful life? How do we connect with richness in the life that we already have, right? With what we already have, not like, oh, I'm going to have $100,000 and then, I'm going to live this meaningful life, or I'm going to have meaningful experiences, or, oh, I'm going to have all these people following me because I'm going to be a business person or a famous person, a YouTuber, right? And then I'll have this meaning in my life. It's not going to work like that. Rather, we find our purpose through taking what we already have, because that's what we have to work with, right? Whatever you have in your body or your mind or whatever, taking what you already have that's valuable, that's precious, and offering it out. Offering it out, what do you mean? Starting to do good deeds. Starting to do good deeds more and more. A 6-foot tall, 15-year-old, 140-pound boy who is actively involved in doing good deeds is one bad dude, one dangerous dude, somebody you got to watch out for. You understand that? Now, what are the good deeds? It is actions of generosity. It is actions of taking responsibility. It is actions of offering out, not for profit, not for what you will get from it, but the offering out. Right? And at the core of this is you're willing to detach from cause and effect. Aware of cause and effect, subject to cause and effect, but you're willing to detach from cause and effect to the point that you really empower, you really emphasize your intentionality. How do we feel when we get caught up in the porn, masturbation, negative thinking, this kind of mess? Well, we feel bad and we're not sure about our intentions. So the mind becomes unstable, isn't it? You've broken your own heart. You're not sure about your intention. You're not sure about what the direction is that you're going in life. And now you're kind of unstable and confused. So rather than focusing on this cause and effect, I've been on NoFap for 1 week, 3 weeks, 3 months, whatever, etc. or I've been on the self-improvement journey for 1 year, 2 years, etc. I'm doing so good. Rather than emphasizing that, know how to feed the intention, feed the sincerity. Go to sleep at night remembering your intentionality, remembering your sincerity to be a good person, to do good deeds, to be a source of helping and offering out and sharing out more and more. Go to sleep with this and wake up with this. If you can put this kind of intention in your mind, then all of the drama or all of the mistakes or all of the other stuff will be less and less important, because you're really getting involved not just for yourself, but for all. Not just using your possessions or your power or your body or mind for yourself, but for all.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Okay, you got it, brother. You got it. It's not difficult, guys. You just gotta get it, got it, good. Get it, got it, good, and here we go. This is the business. If you do bad, you feel bad. If you do good, how are you gonna feel? You're going to feel really good. If you do good only for yourself, how do you feel? You feel good only for yourself. If you do bad only for yourself, how do you feel? You feel bad only for yourself. How do you feel if you do bad for others, or you do bad for all, for your community? You feel bad for the whole community. How do you feel if you do good for the whole community? If you do good for the others, you feel good for yourself and for the others and for all. So widening out, brightening out, sharing out, doing good deeds more and more. Okay? Please be ready to use your microphone. We're going to bring up Sky. Sky, do you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, how do you stay happy in the journey and not in the rewards of life?
Excuse
For
me?
example, like I say sometimes that I will be happy when I get. Uh, my question is, how do you stay happy in the journey rather than the something that you are chasing or the rewards that you are
I'm going to tell you.
desiring,
I'm
like
going to tell you.
getting this?
I'm going to tell you
Yeah,
right now.
okay.
It's not about feeling good. It is not about feeling good. Watching anime is about feeling good. Let's get it straight. Let's talk facts here. Let's be blunt. Watching anime is about feeling good. Masturbating is about feeling good. Eating candy and cereal is about feeling good. Making money or selling something or buying something is about feeling good. If this composes the full spectrum of how you live your life, watching anime, watching movies, having sex, masturbation, pornography, eating, sleeping, buying things, okay? If this is your mission operandi to feel good, then your happiness or your freedom only lies in consumption, only lies in selfishness. Well, let me break it to you. Life is not all about you. Reality is not all about you. It's not about this body, not about this place, not about this period of time. So none of these things are good. They are about feeling good. They are about pleasure. And if you're just living your life through chasing after pleasure, why would you be happy? How happy are you going to be? You're not going to be happy. You're going to be a self-pleasurer, not a self-happier. How do we make ourselves happier? By doing good deeds more and more. Don't get it twisted. Don't complicate it. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. It's just like that, guys. You start to prioritize doing good deeds. Now, if you feel bad, you cannot enjoy anime. If you feel bad, you cannot enjoy your sexuality. If you feel bad, you cannot get benefit. You cannot use eating cereal or foods or whatever. You can't brute force it. If you don't feel good, you don't feel good. But if your intention and if your action is doing good deeds, now you are taking responsibility for the cause rather than the effect. You are active in the cause. You are doing good deeds more and more. So that's what you should do. Relying on the effect is relying on the mother's breast. And, after so many years, we're not going to be able to do that anymore. And of course, many people, they never had that opportunity anyway, right? Because even those things are not for sure. You got it, Sky? So you need to deprioritize feeling good. Feeling good is not so important, and doing good deeds is very, very important. And dare and be willing to do good deeds when you don't feel comfortable, when you don't feel good. And you should be ready to do all kinds of good deeds with all kinds of people in all kinds of situations. That doesn't mean that you do a particular good deed with particular people in a particular situation, but it means you dare to do good deeds more and more. In whatever circumstance, whatever environment, whatever situation you're in, you have this clear and powerful intention to do good. And this informs all of your decisions. Intention
Okay,
leads to the
thanks, Monk.
quality of the action. You got it, Sky. Just start doing it, okay? Be generous, go for walks, hand out money,
Yeah,
whatever you got. Just start doing good deeds, man. Take that responsibility. You're going to encounter difficult people, guys. You're going to encounter tough situations. You're going to encounter, people giving you a rough shoulder. You're going to be thrown in prison, for goodness sakes. You're going to be thrown out of a country. You're going to be put in jail. You're going to get punched in the face. That's life. But if we have our goodness, if we have our good intention, no one can stop us. No situation can stop us. There's only one direction, and that's towards freedom. But we have to start with the foundation. And what is that foundation? That foundation is virtue, morality, goodness. Be a good person. If you're confused or you want to get into a little bit more of a deeper practice, a contemplative practice about moving forward in this way, you can look at your hands and you can ask the question, how can I be a good person? How can I be a good person? Now, it's not the answering. It's not the ideas that come out of it. It's this rich questioning. It's this heart, mind that you're bringing up and that you're touching. This heart, mind, this authenticity of being good, doing good, helping out, bringing benefit, being generous more and more. All right, Sky, you got it?
yeah. Thanks, Monk. I'll leave.
Good. And things will change, not just your body and mind, but the environment will change when you start to change the intention that relates to your action, moment by moment action. Okay, come on up, Chad and Specs. And we also can invite anyone else who would like to come up and raise their hand and ask a question. You can raise your hand. Go ahead, Chad. Okay, let's go to Spexy instead. Spexy, what's your question?
Is my mic lagging?
No, it's okay. What do you want to say?
Okay. My question is, so speaking of like morality and like doing good stuff, which religion do you think like spreads this message out the most?
That's not what I'm here to talk to you guys about, okay? I don't care about your religion. Religion is to be made use of. So if you are a Muslim person, if you are following the religion of Islam or Hinduism or Buddhism or Christianity, you need to be active in the practice and you need to be making use of that religion. So if you are a young Islamic man, you need to be mosque shopping. You need to be visiting different mosques and seeing what kind of men are there, what kind of mentors are there, what kind of teachers are there, what kind of practices are there available to you, and you need to make use of it. Same with Judaism or Christianity or Buddhism, whatever. That religion is to be used only and to be experienced only. That's how you get the benefit from it. That's how you learn and grow from it. I don't care, I don't care what religion you are. I just want you to be a good person, to do good deeds and experience the result, which is freedom and power. Okay? Thank you, Specs.
Oh yeah, and just one more question. Like, what made you like physically become a monk and like start doing these lectures, start a YouTube channel, talk about like Buddhism or whatever it is?
So, a lot of people ask this kind of question, right? What made you be a monk, or why are you here? Why are you doing this lecture? What's going on? Why are you live streaming on TikTok? This is a natural situation. This situation is according to nature. I don't like to make a biography. I don't like to make up a story about how I got here. I can make up a very serious story about how I got here, right? We can all do that. But actually, this is a natural situation, meaning that what we think and the words and phrases that can be used to describe the situation are not to be attached to, not to be relied upon, not to be believed in. You can use them for all kinds of different purposes, but ultimately, my purpose is to use them for the sake of mindfulness and detachment. My focus is to use words for the sake of penetrating into present moment experience, which is not particularly like a movie where there is someone at some place at some time, but it's a natural situation. It's a natural experience, right? Right now I can see, but in a few moments I may not be able to see. Right now I can hear, but in a few moments I may not be able to hear. Right now I have a healthy and wealthy body and mind, but in a few moments it might not be that way. So this natural situation is also not to be attached to, but it's to be recognized and opened out into, widened out into. Natural situation, natural seeing, natural hearing, natural breathing. Okay? All right. Thank you, Specs.
That-
So we've got a question from Chad, and Chad is saying, look, I've made many mistakes in my past, such as offending people. Now, how do I get over it? You get over it by becoming a burning flame of good intention. You get over it by being willing, ready, and able to refresh and restart. Present moment, beginning again, beginning anew. If the situation is right, you can also connect with that person. You can let them know about your experience, and maybe there was a confusion, or you felt hurt, or you felt that you spoke out of turn, or that you thought out of turn. And be open with that, and be vulnerable to share your heart. But also be careful. And even more important is to know about the restart, refresh button. Begin again, present moment experience, present moment experience, present moment experience. Take a few deep breaths, or you can go to take a bath in the dark. You know, people ask questions about how to stop procrastinating, or how do I start doing what I want to do. Just start doing. But if the intention is not to help, is not to bring benefit, if the intention is just like selfishness, if it's about feeling good, if it's about getting what you want, right? So listen to this. This is a big one. If the intention that you have is about getting what you want, and that's the action that you want to stop procrastinating about, well, why would you do that difficult thing? Getting what you want is why we have Amazon. Getting what you want is why we have McDonald's. Getting what you want is why we have Coca-Cola. So our intention needs to be deeper, richer, bigger, wider, more expansive, okay, more wholesome, more generous. You need to incorporate generosity into your intentionality. 100%. 100%. To offer out and to share out, okay? Something that's valuable. And you need to do it more and more and more. And you need to be informed by people who are more experienced than you. You need to be informed by mindfulness. You need to be informed by the real act of generosity, or the solid act of generosity, which means that you give away some money. You give away some possession, or you use your possession not just for yourself, but for the others, right? You use your phone for the others, or you share out some possession, something of value that you have. And you do it more and more and more and more and more and more. Okay, simple activities of doing good that I can do as a teenager. Well, ask that question, bud. Mutator, 14 years old, 5'11", 55 kilograms. You can do it, right? And Radier says something. Radier says, just go to an actual homeless person and buy them some food. Yeah, but also this question is good. This question is a simple activity of doing good, but you need to practice it. You need to exercise it. You understand what I'm saying to you, Mutator? Okay? What simple activities of doing good can I do as a teenager? This is a dangerous young man. You understand what I'm saying to you? This is a young man who is ready to do good deeds. This is a young man who is ready to offer out and to widen out and to share out to bring benefit. But it's like a muscle. You need to exercise it. You need to do it more and more. And you need to primarily recognize something that has value for you, and you need to offer that out. You need to give that away. So, Mutator, we have a saying for some of these lectures. Clean your toilet as an act of generosity. And how about after your toilet is clean? Anybody got an answer for that? How about after your toilet is clean? Go and clean your parents' toilet. Go and do good deeds, do actions of generosity. Now, it doesn't need to be cleaning toilets, but it's as simple as that. Take out the trash, clean up the kitchen, take out the laundry. Simple. You have to start where you are, okay? And as you get more experience and as you get more developed in not just generosity, but then meditation and mindfulness, you can do even more things that you wouldn't consider yet. Okay, you guys following along? You guys understanding what I'm saying, what I'm putting down so far? You guys picking up what I'm putting down up to this point? If not, let me know. Mutator. A lot of people are having some pretty big breakthroughs here right now. Mutator says, okay, I'll start going out of my way to give. I think I've become self-obsessed. Thanks for this perspective, Monk. Don't be self-obsessed. Be generous. Being generous is not about the ego. It's not about the self. It's not about your story of your life. It's about doing good deeds more and more. It's about paying the band so that you can do a dance. You understand what I'm saying to you guys right now? It means you got to start doing good deeds more and more. You got to start enduring that difficulty, that adversity, those confusions. And then in the midst of that, not to become self-obsessed, but to do good deeds more and more. Step into those actions of generosity more and more. That's it. Detach from the effect, but be willing to endure it. That means that detach from whatever you are experiencing right now and be willing to endure it. Be willing to face and to be with that difficulty, that stress, that depression. Be willing to feel it. Be willing to face it. And then action. Cause, participate in the cause, participate in the action of doing good deeds, participate in the action of generosity. Okay, let's go to Draggy. Draggy, you ready to ask a question or something? And if you're watching on YouTube or TikTok, you
Hello,
can also
am
ask
I
a question. Yeah, go ahead, Drag.
hello, am I audible?
You are. You are.
Okay. So I have this question in my mind that I can't let go ever since I think it was 6 years ago that I started to uh, began spiraling down. So I can't let go of my own past or the glory of my past because I see my past self as better than I am now. And and I felt like I'm betraying myself and my goals if I decided to let go of what I used to be. And and I don't know where to start if and I don't know where to start if I don't know what words or questions or actions that I must begin to detach myself or my former self. And I want to figure myself right now. Do you have any advice to it?
I can give you some advice about this for sure. So listen to this. What you have done, you will get back to you. If you find yourself to be attached to what you have done and what you have gotten back, that means that you need to do more. The more wealthy we become, the more generous we need to be. The more power we have, the more we need to offer it out. Simple as that. So, Draghi, if you've had some success, you have the responsibility to do more, to offer more, to act out more. Otherwise, you will develop a condition such as you're describing. So if we have that success, it means we have the capacity, we have the capability to do what? To do more. And we need to do more and more. We need to exercise more and more our generosity, our good deeds. Okay? We need to be mindful more and more. When that thought or that idea or that kind of complicated position or situation comes up that you're describing of looking back on where you were and now you've fallen off, okay, you feel that, but then you connect with your breathing, connect with your awareness of the body, and do what? Do good deeds. That is how we detach, right? And if you become able to do that, you can also meditate, right? This is the doorway. This is the connection point. This is the entry point for the path to enlightenment or the path to real freedom, the path to real power. All right? Now, guys, this is not the best. I apologize. I don't have as much time as I would like or as much bandwidth as I would like, but I'm going to put in the lecture chat right now a link to a Discord server that I set up that has some resources and a place where you guys will be able to connect with me moving forward instead of everyone sending friend requests and direct messages. This will be a place where you guys can connect with me. Okay, so I'm going to post that in the lecture chat right now. Please hop in there, connect in there, and you can join. had some recommendations for different apps that you can use and different things you can do. Continue on your self-improvement journey. I'm just getting a cup of tea here, so bear with me. It's an interesting life, I've got to say, we live an interesting life, but it's not ever going to be worthwhile. It's not going to be meaningful until we start to do the work, until we start to offer out our energy, our time, our mind. And we've got to go beyond this sense of clinging, go beyond the sense of attachment, go beyond the sense of expectation, because we're nomadic, right? We're hunter gatherers. We stay on the edge. We've got to be proactive to be involved in our life. Otherwise, we are in danger. We have a natural mental response, right? That we feel uncomfortable because we aren't doing, because we aren't involved. So we need to get involved more and more. In what? In doing good deeds, for sure. I wouldn't say this to you guys if I didn't know it for myself. All right. So we've got some more people who are going to come up and ask questions, which is great. Let's start with Assad. What's your question, Assad?
Thank you. I have a problem.
What's your question, bud?
I have a problem, and it's really bad. It's getting worse every minute.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I can't.
All right, go ahead, Dreamer.
Hello. So, yeah, thanks for letting me in. I wanted to learn more about the thing called karma. Like, I've
Karma.
been
You want to learn more
noticing
about karma?
karma. Yeah, like I just know there's this like everything we do, it comes back, kind of.
Yeah.
So lately I've been focusing on myself, my actions, what I do to people, and I've been noticing, like I've been feeling that, yeah, it exactly is like every little thing that I do, if it is good, then the good comes back, and if it's bad, then the bads come back. So I've noticed that's it. And like I want to know more about karma, what it really is.
Mm-hmm. So karma is cause and effect.
It's like
Karma is cause and effect. It's not
still sorry.
It's not a spiritual idea. It's very much a matter of cause and effect. What you do, you get back. So what should you do? Good deeds, more and more. Now, if you can exercise that and practice that, then the doorway of meditation becomes more reasonable, more open to you. And if you're in that situation, you can start to get into meditation with the Plum Village app. You can also follow my YouTube channel, or you can follow the work that I do online, and you can meditate with me, follow along, listen deeply. There's also some recommended guided meditations and people you can listen to. So all of that is accessible and available. But you need to reify, you need to deepen, you need to empower again and again and again, to the highest degree, to the deepest degree, the intention to act, to do good deeds more and more. To be
Yeah, I
mindful more
understand
and
that.
more,
I understand everything.
more aware of present moment breathing, more aware of present moment experiencing. Just breathing. In
So,
breathing, just
but
breathing.
sometimes,
Not question, not idea. In breathing, just like that. Direct experience, direct practice. Breathe,
can I
breathing.
say something?
You are skillful already to think thinking. Think about thinking. This already you know how to do. So now you should to practice breathing. Seeing. Heart beating. Listen to the heart beating. That has more answer than I can give you. Listen to the breathing in the lungs. With your heart mind, not with your ears.
Yeah, stop.
Okay, do you
Okay.
have
Thanks for that.
any other question? One sec. Hold on.
Yeah, I
We've got a
was.
special call-in guest on the TikTok, so let's see what happens here. Josh, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering about Buddhism. How can Buddhism help an individual in life and also in afterlife?
Right. So Buddhism is a system of virtue and meditation. So and it's more of a philosophy or a practice. It's not a religion in the same way that Christianity is a religion. We don't have a creation story, and our teacher is just a teacher. They're not a prophet. They're not related to God in some way. We don't reject God, and we are not involved in that because it's like a philosophical practice. So there are some Christian Buddhists for sure. Anyway, the point is that we follow 5 precepts as a Buddhist. Don't kill, don't lie, don't speak harshly, don't commit sexual misconduct, and don't take drugs or intoxicants. Through emphasizing virtuous living, the mind naturally simplifies and stabilizes, and then with that simplified and stabilized mind, we can focus the mind or concentrate the mind or relax the mind in meditation so that we develop a deeper experience and a deeper understanding about the nature of the mind and the nature of the knots and the tangles in the mind. Now, we did have a quick question that came through on YouTube, which I think is important. They said, how do I become generous without expecting anything in return? Give away, offer out. That's it. Be willing to offer out, be willing to give away. And then you learn about how you feel through an experience like that. And you have to work with that detachment. You have to work with that release. You have to work with that giving away. Also, karma is cause and effect. So, do you have to believe in cause and effect to be enlightened? Well, no, you don't need to believe in it, but when you stub your toe, it hurts. When you drink water, you're hydrated. It's cause and effect. So, karma is not really something to be believed in, it's just the law, natural law, cause and effect.
So Buddhists aren't necessarily opposed to like a relationship with the creator.
That's right. They are not necessarily. They are not necessarily.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. Awesome.
And if you would like to just get a taste of the Buddhism in some way, I can recommend one teacher or one monk that's called Thich Nhat Hanh. And he actually wrote a book about Jesus and how Jesus is connected with or like how as Buddhists we also should follow Jesus in a certain way. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much. What is it? Thich Nhat Hanh?
Yeah, I wrote it down here, Thich Nhat Hanh, and if you look on Google for Thich Nhat Hanh and then search like that name and then Jesus, you will see that book. It's worthwhile to look
Thank you so
into.
much, man.
Yeah, take care,
Yeah,
brother.
cool. Yeah, I'll
Nice,
check it out.
nice to hear from you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much. Take care. Thich Nhat Hanh.
That's what it's all about. How do we become more mindful when cleaning, eating? Come back to the breath, come back to your intention that everything you do is not just for yourself, but for all, in relationship to all, not just about yourself. Ro, you'll need to change your profile picture or you'll be removed from the server. Okay.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your question?
Uh, how to stop fearing the like in mind we fear the things that don't even exist. I know I should not fear the things that don't even exist, but I somehow kind of fall into that trap of fearing it again. I don't know how it happens.
We have a real natural capacity to be willing to face fear. So we feel fear and then we kind of want to run away from it or avoid it, but there's also a natural capacity to feel it, to face it, to be with it. Supernatural, not complicated. Like there's that moment when we can like just breathe with fear, breathe with uncomfortableness, breathe with our depression, breathe with our anxiety. So as for that fear, that moment of willingness to be with it, to feel it, to face it, right, is a kind of fearlessness. So generate that quality of fearlessness and offer that mind, offer that attention of fearlessness to the fear. Be willing to feel those difficult emotions and not figure them out, not solve them, not understand them intellectually, but to feel them and offer your attention to them. We can say that the difficult emotions are like attention, and where there is tension, we need to give attention in the body and also in the mind. Okay. Good luck, dreamer.
I understand. I understand.
You got it.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Radier, do you have a question?
Yes, I got a question. What is the difference in between being generous and just pleasuring others?
So, what is the difference between being generous and pleasuring others? Being generous comes from a place of stability. Being generous comes from a place of individuation. Being generous comes from a place of willingness and choice. So the first step in generosity is that we are simple and stable. And we are just where we are right now. And from that place of simple and stable, just where we are right now, we recognize something that has value to us. Maybe it's our money. Maybe it's a skill that we have. Maybe it's a possession that we have. Okay. We recognize that and then we give it away. We offer it out. It has to be something that's precious to us. It's not that you're just kicking dirt. That's why we can say that for wealthy people, it's more difficult to experience the benefits of generosity. For wealthy people, it's more difficult for them to experience the benefits of generosity because when you have so much money or so much wealth, not much means anything to you. Not much is actually precious to you, right? $1,000 for you is nothing. $10,000 for you is nothing. So even if you give that away, you don't get the effect. So what that means is that we need to recognize something that is precious to us, valuable for us, okay? Something we're kind of holding on to. And then with a willingness and with a choice, kind of choice, to give it away, to offer it out, to make a donation, to volunteer our body and mind for these people, this activity, for all, etc. It has nothing to do with being submissive to the desires of other people. You guys as young men have to empower, y'all people need to empower this quality of stepping back and saying, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about, but you got the wrong one. And sometimes this doesn't work out exactly the way you want it to, but you still need to have that energy. You need to know about that power of, look, I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you got I'm not that person. Right? It's like somebody comes up to bully us or someone comes up to manipulate us and starts they've created a mask of us and start to put it on our own face, right? You step back, you take off that mask and you say, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about, but, And it's not an emotional response. It's not even a defensive response. It's a kind of authenticity to yourself, right? It's the power of not knowing. It's the power of stepping back and widening out. That is not about your relationship to that person, but it's about your non-relationship to any person, to any place, to any period of time. And I know that's a big word, there's a big phrase, but it's just to step back. And so when that person approaches you or that situation comes upon you, someone's trying to make you submit to their desires, you step back and say, I don't know what you're talking about. Now, in that case, you can still help. You can still collaborate. You can still, be generous with those people. It's not to reject those people or those situations, but it's not to get kind of manipulated into things. And that's not what generosity is. Okay? But there's also the point that you should do good deeds more and more. You should go beyond being taken advantage of. You should be so involved in doing good deeds, so involved in doing actions of generosity, that when somebody comes up to manipulate you or influence you, you're falling asleep because you've been up all night doing good deeds continuously. And bring that energy and bring that quality to your life. You get what I'm saying, brother?
Yes, yes, I get it. You like lighted up my mind a bit.
When you find yourself in that position where somebody's trying to manipulate you or work on you or put you onto something, maybe you can help them. Maybe it's your opportunity to do good, to help, to bring benefit. But remember, man, when that situation comes about, step back and widen out and open out. Because in just the present moment, just being aware and just stepping back and being aware, no one's controlling you, no one's manipulating you, no one's in charge of you. There's not even a past or a future, kind of. It's just, you're just there. So when that sensitive situation comes up, know how to step back, take a deep breath, and just be there and offer that out. Offer out that just being there-ness, and understand that there's an authenticity, there's a truth in that you can deepen your relationship with more and more by practicing it, okay?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, brothers, so our last portion of the lecture chat is actually going to be a little bit of a guided meditation. If you're ready to do a guided meditation, let's get some W's in chat. Let's get some Adonises in chat. Okay, how do we increase self-esteem, confidence in ourselves? We start doing good deeds. We start getting involved in doing good deeds, in doing actions of generosity. We start to go for walks. We start to follow Bante. We start to follow Monk. Follow the YouTube. Follow my TikTok. Follow my Discord. Stay in touch. It's all about you guys being willing to act, not just for this selfish desire. It's like, how do you get fat? You keep eating. How do you get fat? You keep eating constantly. How do you improve your self-esteem and your power and your freedom? You start walking, you start doing, you start offering out, you start being good. You start following, your role model, your monk. Okay. So let's get this lecture chat locked down so we can all focus. And I will put the link to this lecture in the lecture chat. Nino's putting in a big W. That's appreciated. I'm going to put in lecture announcement. So this will be my YouTube channel, guys. But don't get lost in that right now. It'll be in the lecture announcements for later. Okay. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to do a guided meditation. So sit back, open up, find your breath, and listen, and I'm going to guide you through it. How's that sound? Okay? So, first things first, go ahead and find a comfortable and stable position for your body. All right. I like to sit cross legged, but you don't need to sit cross legged. Just find a comfortable, stable position for your body and adjust your position so it's kind of like a new position. You can put your shoulders back. Okay. Open your chest, open your stomach, open your body, open your eyes, your ears, your nose. Relax your face. Start to become extra aware of your breathing. Start to become extra aware of the feeling of breathing coming in through the nose, going down into the body, down inside the body, and going out. No judging the breath, no controlling the breath, no not controlling the breath. All of that extra stuff with the breath is just not important. Notice and be aware of the breath right now, the breath that is happening right now. And allow the breath and following your breath to bring your mind home to the body. Bring the mind home to the body. So now, what is the mind? Where is the mind? Aware of the body. The mind is just the body breathing at this time. So allow that, let that happen. Allow the mind to be the body breathing. That is the breath flowing in through your nose and flowing out. At this time, you can close your eyes. With your breathing happening, start to let your body relax. Let the top of your head and your face and your shoulders relax. Your throat and your chest, your arms and your back, relax. Also the front of your body, where you feel the breath in your stomach area, in your heart area. Let that area relax. The breath is kind of like an emerald or a diamond or a ruby. It's quite precious, quite interesting, so let it be that way. And let the lower belly and the butt area and the pelvis area and your legs, let it all relax and be comfortable. Let your face fall. Let your face release. Just a natural state of the body sitting here relaxed, the body sitting here aware. And the breathing happening. These emeralds, rubies, diamonds of breathing happening. Just the breath flowing in and flowing out. Really precious, really interesting and enjoyable. Just sitting here, breathing and aware. Whatever thoughts come up, whatever ideas, whatever worries or real stories or real situations, breathing in, allow the mind to come home to the body. And allow the body breathing to be a source of natural safety, natural freedom, natural present moment openness, present moment truth power. Just sitting here and breathing. The worries will have to accept just sitting here, just breathing. It's not that we reject them or we reject anyone or any place or any time or any story. But breathing in, bring the mind home to the body and allow the body to be a source of safety and peace. Allow the body to be a source of present moment freedom. Breathing in, know that you are breathing in. Breathing out, know that you are breathing out. Breathing in, knowing. Breathing out, knowing. Breathing in, peace. Breathing out, freedom. Breathing, freedom. The richness of breathing is to be experienced directly. Breathe, breathing. Do not try to concentrate. Let the natural mind become interested in breathing, breathing. Whatever else is okay, but naturally breathing, breathing. When the distraction comes up or you fall into a state of experience, come right back to the breathing, present moment breathing experience. We can open our eyes if they are closed. We can feel safe. We can feel at home in the natural state of present moment breathing. We will finish this event with a few words. May all the benefits that we have generated from this practice be shared out and dedicated to all beings. May all benefits that we have gained through this practice be shared and dedicated to all beings. May all the benefits that we have gotten from this practice be shared out and dedicated to all beings. May it be, may it be, may it truly be. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Thank you, friends, so much for being here. Thank you, all of the young people joining along on the lecture. And we'll go ahead and finish the lecture now. Thank you guys for being here. And I want to thank everyone as well for following along on YouTube. A random name, if you would like to make a donation, you can go through our website, which is www.monklife.one. And there is actually, I think, just /donate. And you will find there some options, some opportunities to donate, either monthly or just to make an offering. And it's very much appreciated. Okay. Thank you all so much for being here, and the TikTokers as well. Thank you. Take care.